Hi everybody, I'm Angelique, also known as The Light. Welcome to my channel. Hopefully I'm speaking loud enough. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, so I don't want to talk too loud, but I do have my mic on, my earpiece on, so I can speak loudly into the mic, but I'm sure you'll be able to hear me. Getting caught up in my wig. I have never worn I don't think I've ever worn this color before, which would be like, I guess, number 27 for the ladies who know colors, basically. Um, but I like it. It's nice. It's gonna be my little Valentine wig. I'm definitely not gonna be wearing this like on a daily basis, or I'll wear it, for videos only. But anyway, subscribe. Stay a while if you like narcissistic videos. I have tons of them. This used to be a narcissistic based channel, but now it's more of a chosen one, spirituality, some commentary, some zodiac stuff as well. So stay a while if you are into that type of thing. Please click like on this video. It was greatly appreciated. And you can also book a phone session with me. All that information will be in the comment section in the description bar, and please get those donations in. I have been spoiling you guys without receiving donations covering all this content I'm pumping out. And thank you to those who did send donations last week. Okay, thank you very much. So let's get into the topic, chosen ones. And the topic is the signs of people who basically, I'm going to say toxic, dark, broken. And this is just something I noticed over the years of people playing games, and a lot of you might have experienced these things. And whatever you experience, write it in the comment section, because there's going to be somebody who comes along and they're going to want to read it as well, and it could help somebody. And it's sad to say that some of us learn from other people, and then some of us got to go through some stuff. And I personally have been through it all. But then again, I've also learned from watching people make mistakes, and that's what saved me, right? So these are going to be signs of broken men and women, toxic men and women, and dark spirited men and women. Okay, it's kind of crammed in together, so they don't have to be a demon, they don't have to be a narcissist. It can just be a broken person or just a toxic person because of how they grew up, think they experience, and this is why they treat you the way they treat you, pretty much. And I personally would stay clear from these people. If you feel like they're going to be the type of person, like if you confront them and they're not going to change their behavior, I would say move on. And then some of these things are just huge violations to where it's like, why would you even want them to pretend like they're going to change? Okay, so these people who have done these things to me, things that I've noticed, they never change. They're still out there, and they're the same, and these are the methods and ways and behaviors that they do. Okay, so one sign I notice, or one situation I notice when I'm dealing with a guy, and I'm not sure if women do this too, but a man, like when he's getting to know me, I notice the men who were what is the word, either insecure, or they were narcissistic, or they were like the player type, the manipulating type, would always ask me, and fellas, if you do this and you're none of that above, please stop doing this. But I know that they would ask me, oh, what kind of men are you into? That's like a huge red flag. I'm talking about almost every toxic narcissistic dude from the past asked me that question, And, when I was young and dumb in my 20s, I would be like, yeah, I like this type of guy. Da, 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 da. I would give like the whole rundown of what I like in a man. And I remember one time I was getting to know a guy and he asked me that question and I proceeded to answer. And he was just like, now, don't ever do that again. I said, what are you talking about? He was just like, you just told me everything you like in a guy. He was like, don't ever answer that question. Anytime, this is a man who told me this. He said, if a guy ever asks you that question, give him something completely opposite from what you really like and see how he responds to that, okay? And I noticed that, first of all, if a man is starting to get to know you, why would he ask you, so what kind of men do you date? Why did you even feel comfortable to approach a woman if you're curious about the kind of men that she dates? Why do you need to know that? If she wasn't interested in you, she wouldn't even be entertaining you. Okay? Now, if you're a woman who wants to play games, you could possibly F with this guy's head and his confidence and tell him something completely opposite, because that could sometimes will a person in if they're broken. If they're fat and you say, yeah, I like guys who have abs, they're not balding and he's balding, so a lot of times you can kind of flip it on that narcissist, or you can kind of flip it on the manipulator and play games with them too and tell them the total opposite of what they are. So now when a man asks me, so what kind of men do you normally date? I usually say, I usually date guys who have pure intentions and who are intelligent and who have genuine spirits. And they're like, oh, okay. They kind of shut down. They don't want to, I guess, approach that more, or whatever the case is. I never really fully give them like details of something they probably possibly can, I guess, pretend. I don't know how to say that, but be careful. I noticed that every guy that was like the player type, the insecure type, was like, what kind of guys you like? Let me see a picture of your ex, or, it's just, I feel like it's to use it against you. If there's some men who do come across this video, why would you ask a woman what kind of men? I've never in my life asked a guy, what kind of women do you date? Or like, can I see a photo of your ex? Never, never, never. So be very aware of that, ladies, okay? And fellas, if you happen to have a woman who's like, so what kind of women do you usually, talk to? It's a very weird question, okay? Another thing that stands out to me is, have you ever been hanging out with someone and they're not giving you like, how can I say? They're not giving you eye contact. Like they never make any kind of eye contact with you, right? They're like looking in their phone, or they're looking all over the place, and it's like you're talking and they're going, huh? What you say? Oh, okay, uh-huh. And then they're not even listening to you, to the point that they start to they'll overtalk you. And so you'll be like, hey, yeah, so my mom just died and I'm planning the funeral. And they're like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you something. I just bought this dress and it is so nice. Get away from that person. That person doesn't give a damn about anybody else in this world. I'm telling you. You could be like, yeah, I was just digging in my butt. And they'll be like, oh, really? Yeah. But anyway, yes, I'm talking to this guy and he's so fine and this and that. These people are severely self-centered. You're literally speaking and they're tuning you the hell out. Get away from that person. I wouldn't deal with them. It's very, very weird. I have a friend that does this. I actually hung up on her. I actually confronted her on the phone about why did she do that, and she said, oh, no, I didn't hear you. I said, you didn't hear me? I said, okay, well, I don't hear you either. Good night. And I hung up on her. And anytime that she does do that, I hang up on her, right? It's very, very rude. It's basically, sometimes these people have an issue. They really don't care. They just want to sit there. They just want to vent their stuff out, and they don't really care what's going on with you. So I told her, every time you overspeak when I'm speaking, I'm going to cut you off. Now, if by doing that, by putting up that boundary, if they do not change that behavior, then I will say, in that relationship, in that friendship. Sorry, I'm thirsty. Another thing I notice about a manipulator is someone who starves you out with simple things, like in a romantic setting. So, I would say a healthy thing to do. It's not like you need validation from your partner or your lover or someone who you're trying to get with, but I noticed manipulators will starve you out, or narcissists will starve you out when it comes to natural affection. Okay, so I used to talk to this guy. He was a Cancer, by the way. I used to talk to this guy, and I noticed he never complimented me, and I thought that was so weird. So I asked him, and I wanted to feel like he was attracted to me, not just because we had sex, but like he never like complimented me, never said, "Oh, babe, your hair looks nice today," or "I like your outfit," or nothing. I didn't ever remember him doing that, and I thought that was really strange. And it was weird. Like in the bedroom he seemed into me, but outside of the bedroom it was like he didn't acknowledge my beauty or anything at all. And I'm a Leo, so that's really important to Leo women, by the way, fellas, if you're into Leo women. So I asked him, I said, "Well, why don't you compliment me? Like, do you like my hair?" And he would just like look at it and be like, "It's alright." And I'm like, "Okay." Or I would cook dinner for him and he'll be like, "Yeah, the food was okay." So I asked him, I'm like, "How come you never compliment me?" You know what this guy said? He was like, "Oh, I see like on Facebook and Instagram, all these guys compliment you, so I need to humble you." What? He said, "I need to humble you. And that's why I'm not going to give you compliments. You already get all these compliments from this man and that man. So I'm going to humble you, and I'm not going to give you compliments. And if I do, it'll be like once in a blue moon." Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that before. And I was blown away. I was blown away. And I was just like, well, me and you are not going to last. Because that's giving narcissist, that's giving some type of emotional abuse. A lot of times, you don't realize like withholding is abuse, not just using you, but like withholding is abuse. Another thing my mama always told me, today's actually February 14th, and it's my mother's birthday. And she always used to say to me, "Never F a man." She didn't say just F. She said, "Never sleep with a man that won't feed you." And I did not understand that when I was growing up. I was like, what is she talking about? But it's true. I don't think it was just, she was just talking about food, but this is very, very true. And same thing with the fellas. Never F a woman that won't feed you. First of all, food, you need food to eat. Okay, if you went weeks and months without food, you will eventually die. Okay. Um, this really stands out to me, and to me, I feel like anyone that deprives you of food, especially when they got money or they have food, um, this person doesn't care whether you're living or dying. Okay. And I remember, and it's so sad because you have to like think back to the way you let people treat you. So if you see me laughing, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's like damn near embarrassing to tell some of these stories, because it's just like, oh my gosh, when you were like in that broken place, you allow certain people to treat you a certain way. And I'm just like, what the hell was wrong with me? But anyway, I knew what was wrong with me. I know what was wrong with me now. But at the time, you just accept so much. Okay. That's why it's important to start your healing journey. But anyway, so I remember this guy that I had been like having a sexual relationship for like years, right? And I noticed like he never bought me any food. He never like took me on a date. He never like invested not even like $1 into me. Okay, it's embarrassing now because I get gifts and money and taken out now by men, but back then I didn't like require anything from this particular individual. And it makes sense to why like I don't feel this dude respected me. I think he respects me now, but back then he didn't respect me. And this is why you have to require something from a woman and from a man. Okay, anyway, so I remember he was coming to my house, for us to hang out. And I was hungry, and we were gonna like meet up because it was something like the route he usually comes to my house, he had to go another route, so he wasn't sure how to like walk to my house from that particular bus stop. So I was like, oh, I want to get some pizza. So he was like, well, I already ate. I was just like, okay, well, I want to get some pizza, I'm hungry. So he was like, you're taking forever, hurry up, like I'm already here near the pizza shop. And I'm like, all right, I'm coming. I was like, well, if you feel like I'm taking too long, can you just get me 2 slices of pizza? Guys, 2 slices of pizza was like $4, right? This guy goes, no, buy your own food. So this is a guy who sleeps at my house. I've cooked for him. Like I had unprotected sex with this dude before. Um, and this guy was like sleeping at my house at least like 2 or 3 nights out of the week. This wasn't like just like I see him like once in a blue moon or something like that. And I thought he was like a friend or something. I never asked him for anything. And the one day that I asked him to like pick up my food, he was like, no, buy your own food. $4, guys, $4. This right here is someone who does not give a damn about you. Somebody who won't even feed you. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be people who will feed you and still abuse you, whatever the case is. But this is like the lowest of like scum of earth. Somebody who won't even give you food or give you a glass of water, okay? That right there is low. I don't even deny strangers food. You know what I'm saying? So I would not deal with men or friends who are like that when it comes to giving food. Like food is like a necessity. Okay, you need food to live. And you can't be sitting there giving your body to somebody and they don't even care about you eating. It's crazy. And I know, like I had a female friend like that who this guy like slept with her, and like I think he had a girlfriend, and for some reason the girlfriend was coming home early, and he kicked her out his house at 3 o'clock in the morning and let her walk. This is like in Harlem. Okay, Harlem, New York is not an area you need to be walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, and he let her walk to the train station by herself at 3 in the morning. Like it's stuff like that that lets you know that person does not care whether you're living, okay, or living or dying. Be very wary of that. Okay, another manipulation tactic I noticed by a dark soul, when they're trying to use you, right? But they're gonna be indirect. So this person can have more than you, but they live off using people. Okay, so say if they needed money for something, they're not gonna go, oh, I need money. They're gonna come to you with some lame ass story, or they're gonna have an indirect conversation and be like, yeah, so my car broke down and I need $1,500 for this car and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then they'll just look over at you, or they'll pause in the conversation. That's like one of the easiest tricks in the book. And a lot of you who do have money, I know a lot of my subs, y'all are balling. Okay, I've had a couple of conversations with some of y'all. Y'all are very well in abundance, very blessed in abundance. Be careful with this, okay? Where when you have money, you're so eager and loving and you want to help people, but people will try to use you, okay? Or what they'll do is they'll try to ask you for like a small sum of money, and through time they work themselves up, okay? I've had people do that. And unfortunately, when you try to be nice to people and you do something out of the kindness of your heart, they're like, yeah, he or she got money and I'm about to use them, okay? So I've had random people who I didn't know. I used to do poetry years ago. About 6 years ago, I used to perform poetry. And these two poet women, first of all, I was like maybe 30 at that time. These women was like 50. Both of them must have had a conversation about me and money. So I got a Facebook message from one. It was like, hey girl, can I borrow $50? And I'm like, I'm not friends with these people. Why is she asking me for $50, right? And I was just like, yeah, I don't have it. She was like, well, let me know when you get it. Then the other one hit me up and said, oh, my grandmother died in Puerto Rico and I'm collecting $50 from everybody. Can you loan me $50, right? And I'm like, girl, I don't have $50. I don't know what you're talking about. So sometimes you're going to get people who test you financially, okay? And you got to be very careful who you take money from. Sometimes people give you money and in their head, that's their payment for your friendship, for your sex, for your time, to treat you like some type of slave, and a lot of times people find it easier, okay? And they feel like, okay, well, I gave them money in the past, or I paid a bill, or I did something nice for that person. That person owes me. No, don't do things for people and then feel like they owe you. Okay. It's unfair because honestly, when I think about it, it's easier to give somebody money. Okay. I had a friend like that, and I cut her off, and she was like that. That was her way. Like, she would like to give money. I wouldn't even ask her for money, and she would try to give me money. But whenever I needed her to like attend one of my events or help me set up, or get physically involved with something, she would never show up. Some people would just give you money, but they won't be there for you physically or emotionally, and those are more important than money. Okay. You can always manifest money, but somebody who's not going to be there for you when you're sick, somebody dies, you need moral support, motivation, you need like a damn friend, you need a lover, you need a relative. That is more important. When you think back to when you're a child, it's not the money that you think about when you think of someone. It's the way they treated you, the character, the way they made you feel. Okay. So yes, money is important because we need it to live. But those people who feel like all they want to do and all they are willing to do is throw money at you, they're not valuable. They're not valuable. And you have to be very, very careful. So I knew this girl who would use, so this, if any men are watching this video, there's this chick who would use men who she wasn't attracted to. So this happens a lot when you're friend zoned, right? So sometimes you could be friend zoned and that woman or that man, they're not attracted to you, right? But they'll use you for money, for gifts, for time, or even energy. It'll be like, oh, I just want to hang out with a guy, or I just want to use him for dinner. And in that man's mind, he's thinking, oh, I have a chance with her because she's taking money from me. She's spending time with me. I have a male friend like that, and I always have to remind him, like, this is never going to happen. I'm very verbal with that, but sometimes you can't even entertain people as friends. So I used to have a friend who would do this. She was never attracted to any of these men, and she just takes thousands and thousands of dollars. But not only does she take their money, but she mistreats them. So when they're hitting her up like, hey, can we just hang out today? Like, I just gave you $3,000. Like, I just want to hang out. Can we go do dinner? She'll be like, no, I'm busy. Why are you calling me? That's an evil ass. Okay, that's an evil ass person. And even some men, there'll be some men who are like, well, I don't like fat women, but yet they'll sleep with fat women because they need a place to stay, or they are bored, or they need their ego stroked, or not. That's just an example. It can be any kind of woman or man that they're not attracted to, but they're still willing to have sex with them. Okay, pay attention to that. You should know when someone has interest in you. Okay, you're going to know they're not gonna mistreat you. All right, but beware of these particular manipulators, dark souls, broken individuals. Okay, I'm gonna give one last one, and that is definitely the person who's always projecting on you. I get these a lot. I always attract people who are projecting onto me. Okay, and that is a person that every time you speak to them, it's like they got something negative to say about you. It could be about your looks, it could be about your choices, it could be about the way you live, it could be something small. It could be like, oh, I don't like your red lipstick. But then you'll see that they'll go buy the same lipstick that you got. This is somebody who's actually really obsessed with you. All right. And this could be very, very dangerous. Stay away from people who in one breath insult you, and the next thing you know, you turn around, they got you. They shopping at the same place you shopping at. They buying the same things you buy. They trying to wear your hairstyle or your haircut like you. That's a person who's actually obsessed with you. Okay, they want to be in the man or woman that you're attracted to face all the time. So be careful with these particular demons. These particular broken individuals. All right, they can be really dangerous. All right, so I'm going to continue to make more videos. Hopefully this information will help you. I don't want to keep doing long-winded videos, so I'm trying to cut them down under 30 minutes. All right, have an amazing Valentine's Day. Peace and blessings. Talk to you soon, guys. Don't forget to donate, and don't forget to book your phone sessions with me. All that information will be in the description bar and in the comment section.